Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be part 2 of the Range Rover restoration. So today we're going to be putting on the replacement A-pillar plastic piece, and then we're also going to work on some of the trim. I'll show you here in the back. So the trim's pretty weathered. It's kind of hard to see on camera. You can kind of see a line here. Basically, yep, there we go, better angle. So I'm using this, the Meguiar's Ultimate Black Plastic Trim Restoration. So this trim is pretty weathered, so it'll take a couple coats, let it soak in between to get it looking back brand new. And then we also have a new set of taillights to go on. I went with the Euro spec, so it'll delete this side strip, and then it'll have clear lenses in there, so it'll clean up the back look quite a bit. One other thing, we have some cool new t-shirts over on the website, DIYgarage.com. Go over there, pick you up one. It helps support the channel. We have the I Avoid warranties with the wrench hand, all the boost with the turbo snail, and I am the warranty with the wrench hand. Alright, now back to the video. Alright, so first thing that we did, we took some isopropyl alcohol, put it on a rag or a paper towel, and then wiped down all the rubbers just to get them clean. You don't want to normally clean your rubbers and plastics with alcohol because it'll dry them out over time, but to apply the coating we wanted to make sure we had it perfectly clean. So we got them all wiped down. Next we're going to apply the first coat of the back to black and let it soak in. Alright, and how I like to do it, just take a little corner of a paper towel, put a little dab. A little goes a long way on this stuff, and then just kind of smooth it on. Try not to get it on the windows and paint just because it will make a mess smearing it around. It's very oily. But so basically just go along, make sure you get complete coverage, and then wipe off the excess, and then let it soak in. You'll see it kind of dry out, probably 20-30 minutes depending on the temperature. And then after it dries out, you can put another coat on. Keep repeating that until it looks like it's brand new trim. So you can tell the difference. I didn't get all the way to the end here. It's starting to look new again. Alright, and then so now we have all of the trim refinished. It looks brand new. Alright, so this is what we're going to use on the leather. This was about 40 bucks. So basically we have a Lexol cleaner and conditioner. It's kind of a two-stage step based on what I was reading on those products. And then I picked up some bristle brushes, a couple different sizes. Probably use the large brush, just cover as much as possible, as quick as possible. And then some microfiber towels. So this gives you the directions how to use it, as far as applying it, rubbing it in, and then wiping it away. And then same for this, applying it, spreading it out, and then letting it soak in, and then wiping the excess away. So we're going to give this a shot. We're just going to do a small test spot on the seat with the cleaner to see how well it does, make sure it doesn't discolor the leather or anything. Okay, so basically we're going to do a little test patch here on the edge of the seat so we can tell it's definitely dirty. So what we're going to do is spray a little bit of the cleaner on and then work it with the brush, and lathers up a little bit. And then you want to make sure to not let it dry on there. Once you get the contaminants or the dirt worked out of the leather, then if you let it dry, it's just going to stick back to it. So make sure you wipe it off while it's wet still. So I'm going to see what that looks like. Wipe it. Yeah, so just that little bit definitely cleans it up pretty nice. So it seems like this is safe to use on this leather. None of the dye came out or anything like that on the towel. So we're going to go ahead and do this whole bottom cushion, and then we'll show you a before and after. Definitely super dirty back here. So Alright, here it is, about halfway finished, or this one lower cushion halfway finished anyways. A huge noticeable difference. I've got it all the way up to here, as you can see. This is kind of like a before and after. Big difference. So cleaned each one about twice. So I'd spray the Lexol on there, scrub it in, wipe it off, spray another coat, scrub it in, wipe it off, and then this is what it looks like. So it'll look even better once we get the conditioner on there. Alright, so here we have the this bottom cushion finished. Probably spent 30-45 minutes on it. Turned out really good. So next we'll move to the backrest, and then move across the seat. Do the rest of this. It'll probably take a few hours, so I'll show a after clip once it's done. Alright, and here's an after clip with the rear seats after cleaning. They look really good. They definitely don't look like they're 2004 year model. There was a couple little spots that didn't come out, but didn't want to work it too much. Didn't want to damage the leather or the finish or anything, but overall it came out really good. Looks almost brand new. Alright, and so next, so this was the key fob that came with the car. As you can see, the lock button has gotten damaged. Looks like it may have had trouble making contact, and so they started pushing harder and harder, and so it's pushed in, and everything was worn off of it. So ordered new fobs off eBay. I think it was under $20, but it just comes with the case and the blank key. So essentially what I'm going to try to do is take the buttons out of this one, out of the new one, and then install them into the old one. That way I don't have to pay a couple $100 and have a key, have this blank cut to match. And so to do that, tiny little notch there, you can stick a screwdriver or something flat in there, and then 2 Phillips head screws. So once you get the 2 little Phillips head screws out, this back just comes off and then exposes the battery. We're going to go ahead and put a battery in here too while we're while we're in here, and then so we'll take this battery, just pops out. We'll pull the battery holder out and the circuit board out, and that should expose this little piece. It's basically the springs for the button, and it's what makes the contact, so that it's kind of a molded plastic. It's a molded plastic, has little humps on each one, so when you press a button it has a spring effect to it. So we're going to swap this out, and then also pull the rubber buttons out of this one. May have to glue them in the old remote. I'm not sure how they attach. I don't see any type of fasteners in here, so so we'll get this out. I'll get them both apart and then show you how we put them back together. Okay, so I've got them both apart. This is the original key here. A couple little differences. So the original key has a little bar in between the 2 buttons, where the new fob just had 1 hole. So the rubber molded buttons are slightly different. The original here on the right, it's kind of hard to see, has a little groove that bar fits into, where the new button does not. So we're either going to have to cut that in to the new button, or cut the bar out of the old fob. And then we got the internals out. Guess that's the expensive part of the fob. And then battery, we'll go pick up a new battery. It's a DL 2016, in case anyone's needing a battery for their fob. Sorry about the glare, there it is. So we'll go ahead and to remove these, to remove the rubber, basically I just took a flathead screwdriver, started on one corner, and then just gently started prying it down. So basically just putting the flathead screwdriver and pulling the rubber away from the plastic. Just went around very carefully. It took a few minutes. Take your time, make sure you don't rip it or slip and scratch your fob up. So while we got it apart, I'm going to go ahead and clean it, just in the little cracks and crevices. and then we'll figure out what we're going to do about the rubber button piece, and then and go from there. Alright, so now we've got the new buttons in the old fob. It looks a lot better. You can actually read what they're supposed to say. So there are these little, let's see if I can get it to focus on it. There are these little teeth around the edge. The extruded rubber fingers on the new rubber were different size and spacing than on the original fob. So I just had to take a small file and slowly work away at it until I could get them to push in. So next we're going to take some Gorilla Glue and glue all the edges down just to make sure that this rubber never pushes through. And then we'll reassemble it, put the new battery in, and then the fob will be ready to go. And then one other thing to mention, when you're putting your fob back together, there's this little chip that has to go back in. Make sure you don't leave it out or your key's not going to work. Alright, so I let the glue dry overnight. Got a new battery for it this morning. It's the size there again in case you need it, 2016. It's a really thin battery. And then put the two Phillips head screws back in, and then we'll snap the back cover back in place, and then that'll be it for the key fob. And that'll do it for this episode. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out with making these videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.